Good evening. Here is the news at 6. First, the highlights. Lagos State government pledges commitment to ease of doing business. President Tinubu approves creation of Livestock Development Ministry, inaugurates Renewed Hope Livestock Reform Implementation Committee. On the foreign scene, Israeli forces ramp up attacks on northern Gaza Strip despite new ceasefire discussions. In Sport Australia, France unveils sports for women's basketball event ahead Paris 2024 Olympics. Now the details. I am Taiwo Baruwa. Lagos State Governor Babajide Sanwo-Olu has pledged his administration's commitment to ease of doing business to accelerate and grow the state economy. Governor Sanwo-Olu, who was represented by his deputy Obafemi Hamzat, reiterated this at the 9th edition of Lagos Corporate Assembly tagged BOS Meets Business was the theme, unparking barriers to ease of doing business, accelerating business growth held in Victoria Island. The governor, who noted that the Lagos Corporate Assembly has helped in strengthening relationship between the state government and the organized private sector, commended the business community for continued innovation, adaptation, and contribution significantly to the growth of the state, despite the numerous challenges, including the current global economic downturns.
Our resolve is to make this assembly a formidable platform for public-private collaboration, ensuring that your voices are heard and your concerns are addressed promptly. We are determined to turn the feedback we receive from you into actionable policies that will further ease the business environment in our state.
On her part, Special Advisor to the President on Ease of Doing Business in the Office of the Vice President, Jumoke Oduwole, called for more political will on the part of the leaders to measure deliverables for more business successes.
Those reforms continue to help you and come back to say, or otherwise, if you haven't felt the impact, please tell us. If you have felt the impact, please let us know. It's a journey of continuous improvement. It's one of institutionalization, and it's one of collaboration.
In her welcome address, Commissioner for Commerce, Cooperatives, Trade and Investment, Folashade Ambrose Medebem, noted various complaints from the business community during the last assembly. Ambrose Medebem said Governor Sanwo-Olu's administration has grown the state economy from 27 trillion naira to 41 trillion naira in the last 5 years, with several global recognition, which makes Lagos State the economic capital of the country.
Lagos State has implemented key reforms which cover land administration, obtaining development permits, electronic payment of taxes and levies, quick determination and resolution of commercial disputes, among many others. We are quite confident that these and other reforms will score the state high on the other forthcoming saber result areas and disbursement-linked indicators.
Lagos was ranked by Time Out magazine in the United Kingdom as the 19th best city to visit in the world in 2024 among 173 global cities. The event was attended by captain of industries, members of the diplomatic corps, and security personnel, among others. Lagos State Government has announced plans to introduce Omeoko projects in a bid to reduce travel time on roads. Commissioner for Transportation Oluwaseun Oshiyemi stated this during an interview on Lagos Traffic Radio with the theme Lagos Transport Policy and Water Transportation with crew of lunchtime worker. Oshiyemi said the state government also aims to build 15 world-class jetties that will cover more routes in the state. He said water transportation will continue to reduce congestion on roads and improve infrastructure.
Of course, there will be a lot of channelization, and will also be at those jetties. You'll be seeing an infrastructure like electric charge points, because we are bringing in over 70 electric vessels for the inland waterways. So the whole idea is to ensure that we move more people on the waterways than we do presently.
He reassured Lagosians that the government will continue to prioritize safety of people on waterways. Meanwhile, the Lagos State Traffic Management Authority LASMA has launched a toll-free call and walk-in complaint center, among other initiatives to enhance communication, increase transparency and foster effective traffic management across the state. Speaking at the unveiling of the new department center at the LASMA headquarters, Oshodi, Commissioner for Transportation Oluwaseun Oshiyemi noted that the initiatives, which are in line with the Themes Plus agenda of the Babajide Sanwo-Olu administration, will boost communication between the public and the agency. Oshiyemi stated that it will also simplify traffic to operations and significantly improve the overall driving experiences of motorists in the ever-bustling commercial city.
If, for instance, somebody takes a car is going one way, you can see from the picture if the person is truly driving against traffic. So they are verifiable things. It's not like someone just takes a picture and sends it in because he wants to earn the points, which is why money charge are not put on these things. Because the moment you do that, you would abuse and lose the objective of what we're trying to achieve. But by earning points, we verify whatever has been sent in. Even on our AMPR cameras that we have, when those pictures are taken, you can actually show exactly what's going on.
The special advisor to the governor on transportation, Giwa, said the newly launched initiatives has put LASMA on track and into the limelight with the launch of the toll-free call, walk-in complaint center, whistleblower application, and News Department of Statistics, Research and Data. Earlier in his welcome address, the general manager of LASMA, Olamilekan Bakarioki, said the agency is taking giant leaps and making good progress.
They welcome development. This agency will prioritize people, especially for the motoring public in Lagos. And this will equally enhance our service delivery at all times for us to perform optimally.
Bakarioki noted that the initiatives underscore LASMA's commitment to enhancing service delivery, ensuring road safety, and fostering a more efficient traffic management system in Lagos. Now to the rest of the stories. President Bola Tinubu has approved the creation of a Ministry of Livestock Development as he inaugurated the Renewed Hope Livestock Reform Implementation Committee at the State House in Abuja. The committee is mandated to provide sector-focused solutions to address the age-long farmers' headers crisis. It will be recorded that the National Livestock Reforms Committee last year recommended that President Tinubu create a Ministry of Livestock Resources to, among other deliverables, reduce the decade-long gory conflict between farmers and nomadic cattle headers nationwide. Former Kano State Governor and Chairman of the All Progressives Congress Chairman Abdullahi Ganduje revealed this shortly after he led the committee in an audience with the president at the Aso Rock Villa, Abuja. It's formed part of 21 recommendations captured in a document submitted to the president to enhance the federal government's holistic response to the lingering crisis of bloodshed. The federal government has pledged to pay the 36 months salary arrears owed some teachers of Unity colleges. Minister of Education Tahir Maman made the pledge at a 3-day Ed Tech conference. No fewer than 1,800 teachers of Unity colleges are being owed salary arrears and other allowances for 3 years. Maman, the files of the affected teachers were already with the Minister of Finance, while assuring that teachers would soon be paid. The House of Representatives has mandated its Committee on Petroleum Resources, Downstream and Midstream to investigate the return of fuel queues in the nation's service stations and proffer lasting solutions to the oil sector's challenges. The decision of the House was sequel to the of a motion of urgent public importance moved at plenary by the member representing Orion, their local federal constituency in Edo State, Bill Osawawu. The motion, titled Urgent Need to Carry Out a Legislative Forensic Investigation into the Challenges Affecting the Downstream and Midstream Petroleum Sectors in Nigeria and other related matters, to find out a lasting solution to all challenges being experienced in the sectors and reposition them for efficiency and productivity, was endorsed by the lawmakers during the plenary. Leading the debate, Osawawu noted that there has been a resurgence of fuel queues in petrol stations, with allegations of high costs of petrol and non-availability of fuel stock for downstream domestic refineries in Nigeria, as well as disruption of distribution of the products. In foreign news now, Israeli forces have ramped up attacks on areas across the northern Gaza Strip, despite new ceasefire discussions taking place. Gaza's Ministry of Health said at least 50 people were killed in the last 24 hours, reporting period and dozen wounded in strikes throughout the besieged coastal enclave. Israeli tanks deepened their incursions into some Gaza City district such as Shujair, Sabra, and Ta al-Hawa, where residents reported some of the fiercest fighting since the start of the war. The armed wing of Hamas and Palestinian Islamic Jihad said they fought against Israeli soldiers in Tal al-Hawa with anti-tank rockets and mortar fire and inflicted casualties. Gaza City residents reported explosions and numerous gun battles, as well as helicopter strikes through the night in southwestern neighborhoods. The Israeli army has focused its attention on Gaza City after announcing it had intelligence showing Hamas and Palestinian Islamic Jihad fighters were operating there. In sport now, the Nigeria senior women's basketball team, the Tigers' opponent, Australia, and host nation France, have announced their squads ahead of the forthcoming Paris 2024 Olympics, scheduled to take place from July 26 to August 11. The Tigers' preliminary 16-player squad list was earlier released, with the substantive 28-player squad built to be selected after their warm-up game in Saarbrücken, Germany, for a pre-Olympic training camp. The host country, France and Australia, have released their full squads for the women's basketball event, with less than 15 days to the commencement of the global multi-sport showcase. Australia's squad comprises a blend of experienced and young players like Lauren Jackson, who will return to the court to feature in her 5th Olympics. But just before we go, carry out proper and adequate checks on your vehicles before setting out. You can follow us and like all our various social media platforms. X at Traffic Radio 961, Facebook Lagos Traffic Radio 96.1 FM, Instagram Lagos Traffic Radio 961. Subscribe and watch our news and programs live on YouTube, Traffic Radio 961. You can also visit our website www.trafficradio961.ng. Did you know that the Sanwo-Olu administration provided 61,000 units of single door composite furniture for secondary schools? You can get more details on the Lagos State Government website. To end the news, here are the highlights of the major stories. Lagos State Governor Babajide Sanwo-Olu has pledged his administration's commitment to ease of doing business to accelerate and grow the state's economy. President Bola Tinubu has approved the creation of a Ministry of Livestock Development as he inaugurated the renewed Hope Livestock Reform Implementation Committee at the State House, Abuja. We also told you that Israeli forces have ramped up attacks on areas across the northern Gaza Strip, despite new ceasefire discussions taking place. And finally, in sport, the Nigeria senior women's basketball team, the Tigers' opponent Australia and host nation France, have announced their squads ahead of the forthcoming Paris 2024 Olympics scheduled to take place from July 26 to August 11. For contact with the newsroom, send a message to info@trafficradio961.ng. That ends the news broadcast compiled by Adirayo Idowolaya. I am Taiwo Baruwa. Thank you for listening. Good evening.